everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm going to show you how to make your very own zombie map in Fortnite Creative. So let's get started with the first tutorial. So the first thing you want to do once you load it into your map is go ahead and open the map section and plan it out. So usually what I like to do is I make an outline of it on paper, and then I make marks for the trees and the mountains and the lakes, and then I add the starting point, and then maybe you could progress to this area once you have enough gold, and then maybe here where there's a campsite, and maybe once you have enough gold you can progress to this area, which will be an island where there will be a boss fight or something. So once you planned it out, you could go ahead and make a marker like I did, wherever you want to start building. And you can go ahead and head over there. I do not know why that is floating. I'll go ahead and go down. Now, here what I placed down here are some spawn pads. Make sure that visibility in game is off, and then you can copy it as many times as you would like, but be careful because there is a 50-player spawn limit. Whoop. Can go all the way up to 50, but I placed down 10 spawn pads, so I will stick with 10 people. And I will go over the rest of the settings in another video. Oop. Oop. I will go over the settings in the last episode of this series, so stay tuned for that. So once you place down all of the spawn pads here, you want to come up with a vibe for your zombie map. So maybe you could have a farm theme. You can build a nice little farm here. Or maybe you could have a horror movie theme, and you could grab like something scary, like maybe a factory. So maybe you could go in the factory gallery and grab anyone you would like, and then place it down. Ooh, that is a big factory. Make sure you also have flat terrain with it. It is important to have flat terrain. So you can do that by going into the terrain gallery. Where is it? Terrain. And there are a bunch of galleries here that you can use to build your terrain. So in places that it's uneven, you could build a forest like that. But in places where you have a little smoother terrain, I suggest you build something. So, and also make sure that the grass isn't like taking over the building. If you want to do that on purpose to make it look like it's overgrown, that could give it an element of scariness. I just made up that word. But I suggest only doing that if you do it like on purpose. If it's like that, it could look kind of ugly. But to make it even nicer, you could potentially grab the grass and wavy sand for a gallery, and grab this and place it down. And then it'll look more like it is overgrown, not like you didn't do it on purpose. And then you can do that, cover the whole place in the wavy grass. And then it could look pretty cool in the end. Just make sure this isn't floating. And then it can look pretty cool and scary. Now the next thing you want to do to give it even more of an element of scariness is you want to go into the My Island settings. Of course, I will go over every setting with you in the last video. Change the time of day to 12 a.m. so it is really dark. Camera filter, I suggest changing it to horror movie. Light brightness, make sure that is very low, maybe even 0% if you want it to be super dark. But I suggest changing it to like 10%. Light color, default. Fog thickness, if you want it to be really dark, 80%. Black fog color, and then you will end up with something like this. If you don't want it to have that like look like that, then just change horror movie to default so it's more like Fortnite-y. But if you want it to be more like a horror movie, of course, change it to a horror movie and it will look pretty cool. Now if it's too dark and you want players to actually be able to see, you can of course change this, because if you change it to 10%, it could still be very bright out. But I will stick with 70% fog thickness for the purpose of this video, and it is really dark and scary. Alright, so once you're done with that, you can go ahead and cage in each of your locations. So maybe here I'll have a little factory location where I am right now. And go ahead and grab any fence you want. There are a couple in the Eco galleries, or prefabs over here, not the galleries, so the galleries don't have it. There are a couple here you can use. Here, you could use this maybe. You could also use, maybe, let's see. You could use this too and grab this barrier over here. And I will show you how to get rid of the barrier so you will be able to pass. Now, of course, you can jump over here. Now, to prevent that, you can grab a barrier device. You guessed it. And you can, where is it? There it is. Grab a barrier device. Make sure it is this one that acts as a prop. Make sure it is very skinny. And then place it down over here. And then make sure that is invisible, and then you will not be able to pass. So make sure that is no, and I'll show it also. This is what it will look like, because you will not be able to pass. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!